You're listening to Titletown Brawl, your Packer coverage 24/7, 365 on the Brawl Network.
Gun, three receivers left, one to the right. Packers need at least 7 yards to move the chains. Rodgers gets the snap. Blitz is on. Rodgers scrambles left, winds up Rainbow. He's got Cobb at the 10 to the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown and a dagger. Oh my goodness. And a touchdown. He did what? The shotgun. This is Brandon Jackson. Trying to pick his way, and he finds his way in the end zone. Touchdown Green Bay. Cutting left to the 5. He's straight ahead, 10 to the 15. Slips the defender, 20. Spinning his face, still on his feet. 25 yards. He's to the 35. Left sideline. Turns it on to the 50. To the 40. To the 30. Down the left side. With the high ball to the end zone. Touchdown. Wow. Howell is back in town. The Green Bay Packers are world champions of football.
And welcome everybody to another live episode of Titletown Brawl. It's me, Jay Andrews. You can hit me up on Twitter at UPJ33. B-Jack is not here at the moment, but he might show up. You never know what's going to happen with him. Hit him up on the Twitter at BJackson32. And on Instagram, he is Brandon Jackson29. I am J_Andrews033. And as always, give the website of the Brawl Network some love. Hit them up, thebrawlnetwork.com. Go there, sign up for free. It's your one-stop shop. The Brawl has it all, baby. And don't forget to give them some love on social media. Follow, like, and share their Facebook page and also on IG and Twitter by searching Network Brawl. Tonight we are joined by the one, the only, the Rico. Show me the money, Graziano. He is a stable on the Full Monty Sports Show every Sunday at 11 Eastern a.m. on YouTube on Nuts and Bolts Sports. What's up, Rico?
What's up, Jay? I got to tell you, the Brawls got it all. That's a great line. Just hearing that made me smile.
Yeah, I know. It's my signature phrase. Man, you are out in LA, so, you know, like we like to always introduce everybody as a first-time guest. We've had Monty on a couple of times. I've listened to you a lot. The listeners out there that listen to that show know who you are on the radio. But our listeners on these airwaves probably aren't that familiar with you. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody how to get a hold of you on social media and what it is that you got your fingers in.
My name is Rico Graziano. I am a co-host of the Full Monty Sports Show, which is under the umbrella of Nuts and Bolts Sports. I've done over 100 podcasts, probably a lot more. I think I stopped counting around them. On the show, I'm a handicapper, a football handicapper, and a fantasy football fanatic. I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I've done also some shows on the Cooking Network and Food Network. And done some short films. I guess you could say I'm the entertainer, the jack of all entertainment.
Now, I got to ask you this right away because I have personally wondered this myself. How did you end up with the signature phrase for your nickname from Jerry Maguire?
Well, it's a funny story because I've known Monty for many years, and prior to the gambling thing, he would say, Rico, show me the money, as a joke, because Monty's got this fantasy that I'm some millionaire, and I don't want to break his heart, so I kind of play it that I am. It's one of those jokes, like I play into it. So now with the show, he gives me 3 picks for football, and I've become the gambling specialist on the show. So,
and he likes to give you a hard time. But I believe, are you not leading that series head-to-head on him now by a few games?
Well, when it comes to the games, he gives me the 3 games to bet. So I don't pick my own games, which is actually, I found out, which is really works well for me because I'm actually 5 years in a row I've had a winning season. And I'm sure if I had to pick the games myself, they wouldn't be. So he gives me 3 games, and yes, I've blown him out pretty much every year because I have a winning year. And but in fantasy last year, I made a comeback in the playoffs. But I got to give it to him. I was surprised that he had the that he had what it took to, I in 7 or 8 years, I don't think I've ever gotten less than second or third place in my fantasy teams. So but I have a friend of mine, and all we do is talk about fantasy or when fantasy is going to start. So I get a little obsessive about my sports, and especially when it comes to football and football gambling. And as a gambler, I know you lose, but since I've been doing the show the last few years, it's been really working out well for me.
Okay, well, I want to talk some fantasy because on the next show that I do, the Brawl Network podcast, which will be on as soon as we get off these airwaves, I'll get back on with the guys tonight and be live on there again, just like we're live now. But B-Jack has also joined it, so we have 9 people that are in that podcast, 8 other podcasters and me, and then we had 1 spot, so I invited B-Jack because, had to have that guy. You can't have a 10-team league without 10 guys. And we had our fantasy draft this weekend. And I want to get into it a little bit, but I got to wait because my wife has stolen my phone over here, off the camera, and she's sending herself pictures off of my phone and absolutely refuses to hand me back my phone so that I can get into my lineup and talk to you about this. So I'm going to give you the floor to give her some time to do what she's doing so she can give me my phone back and just kind of talk about some of the maybe the drafts you've been involved in and some of your fantasy draft philosophy for our listeners.
So my biggest thing that me and my friend, and I came up with it a few years ago, is that stay away from players who have any type of hamstring injury. If they have a hamstring, any type, I don't care how good they are, they nag. Those injuries nag forever. So one of my big things is that a guy will move. If he's going off, I'm just going to use it like a 1 to 10 scenario. If he's going off number 5 in the draft, he might not even make it on my top 10 just because a hamstring injury lingers, and also a concussion. Because at the end of the day, in fantasy football, you want stability. You want to have stability. You want to be able to start your starting lineup every week, short of the bye week. And another thing that I am really against is trying to set your draft to your bye week. Don't worry about your bye weeks, and if there's too many players, because by the time the bye weeks start rolling in, players can be hurt. Players are on the wire. So I try to not really pay attention to the bye week. I pay attention to if a player has a concussion. I also, and like I said, the hamstring, but now this year, there's been a new wrinkle of having to pay attention to players who've had COVID-19. Like, in my view, Ezekiel Elliott has already had it. So there hasn't really been many people or any that I know of that have had it twice. So he's kind of not saying protected. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say if you have it, you can't get it again. But the odds are that he won't miss any games because of it. So that's a new wrinkle that I've added into my fold, which Monty on the Full Monty Show thinks I'm a little, I don't know. He finds it something morally wrong with that particular wrinkle.
Well, I'll tell you this. All right, I had all these notes, right? We set our draft up, and we had like over a week leading up to the draft, right? And so I went in, dove in my spare time while I'm doing studio work for the Brawl, everything that they got me going on here, and I'm having fun. I love doing what I'm doing, and I don't mind that I'm up wee hours. So. But it gives me something to kind of focus on while I'm doing other stuff is to listen to these podcasts, and kind of keep my brain in football mode, right? And so I'm doing all this fantasy podcast listening, and I'm taking all these notes of how I'm going to kill the draft if this happens. I got all this stuff. The draft comes, and just out the window, man.
You could do. That's why I have my partner. When I say my partner, my fantasy football partner, I'm a married man. But my fantasy football partner is it's good to have a second guy there because he'll talk you out of the mistakes that you want to make, because some of the mistakes that people make is that they think that the year before, his name's Levi, and he joked this week on the Full Monty Show when he said to him, he goes, "I don't think backwards, I think forwards." And we were laughing because we didn't know if he understood exactly what he was talking about when it came to, like Aaron Jones is not scoring 19 touchdowns this year. I don't care. That's just not going to happen. He did that last year, and if you're going to draft him because you're counting 19 touchdowns, you're not really being realistic about the whole situation. So, yeah.
All right, I got my phone. So
Okay.
here I'm gonna give you my roster, and I want your opinions on this. Okay. Oh, here we go. Look at this. We got B-Jack is calling here, but I'm gonna do this.
Nice.
I'm gonna call him back. I'm gonna keep talking to you. So
All right.
here's my, and this is a perfect timing for him. So now see him calling me messed up my phone. All right. Look at, here's B-Jack. He's on. Welcome to the show, B-Jack, and say hello to Rico.
What's up, Rick?
What up,
What's
B-Jack?
up, man? Not just out working in the yard.
That's the yard's important.
Like
got to take care of the house.
Yeah, I had some responsibilities here at the school, so I had to tackle them, and I'm done with them now. So
he went and got himself a haircut and shaved. You are clean looking today. You look pretty boyish today, B-Jack.
hey, man, I got my swag on. I stay swagged out.
Did they
He's
give
ready.
you a
Look at
swag
him.
bag for back to school or what?
Hey, man, I had J's in the closet from about 6 years ago. I never wore, so I've been swagging it out at school.
I love it.
tell them, they say Coach Jackson got that drip. Coach Jackson got that drip. So, it's
I love
something
that.
I gotta put on for my youngins.
That's it. I love that we're fathers, and it's like, what is it, back to school night? Yeah, I had to get a haircut. That's like our day, the highlight.
Right. Yeah. And also I miss the webcam for my daughter's teacher conference night, parent teacher conference. So yeah, I'm all over the place tonight.
Well, he's a busy guy. Now, you came in at the perfect time because I was just talking to Rico about our fantasy draft, and I was about to tell him about my roster. We were going to start talking about that. And then you got in, and I thought, well, this can't be a better time.
Oh, yeah. You know it was right on time.
Oh, yeah. And so Rico,
with that pool lineup you got.
Oh, my lineup. Hey, I just talked to all the people on Facebook in the fantasy things, and they're like, dude, how did you end up with all those? What's wrong with the people in your league? Why did they allow you to draft all those people?
You're like a tight end whore. You went and got all the tight ends first.
Oh wow, that's the opposite of what I do. But let me hear this lineup. I mean, I'm interested now.
So in the
first
round,
he's talking about the lineup, but he didn't tell you who he went and got first.
Oh, no, I'm going to tell him.
Go ahead.
In the first round, pick 5, I got Can't Guard Mike with the 5th overall pick, right? 5th pick in the second round, I got Travis Kelce. 5th pick in the third round, I got Kittle. 5th pick in the fourth round, I got Jonathan Taylor out of Indianapolis. In the 6th round, I got DeAndre Swift. Then I got Hollywood Brown, McCole Hardman, Henry Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, and also Latavius Murray and Jamison Crowder.
I see you a fantasy rookie. Right
Yeah.
there. You ain't got all these rookies. You went and got people that was hurt last year that's not going to show up. You went and got all these guys that's not going to perform at a high level.
B-Jack, if I had that lineup, I wouldn't even play. There's no reason to log in anymore. That's a two tight. I've looked at the 2 tight end scenario. It's not a great one because the running back pool is so short and so small when the wide receiver pool is gigantic. You could pick up.
Yes.
I mean, Keenan Allen's going in the 5th round, 6th round. Even though I wouldn't touch him, I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, we play 2 flexes.
I mean, that's what I was trying to tell them. And so why was people keeping their eye on me and who I was drafting?
Because you were drafting Puton. You took Ezekiel Elliott in a Mike McCarthy offense, and you played in that offense as a running back. That's the dumbest move you could have done being in that offense. Knowing he's never going to get the damn ball.
See, you're not understanding. See, when you got an offense under Mike McCarthy with a great offensive lineman, with a game manager at quarterback, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to run the ball. They paid this dude $60 million, and you're not going to run the ball? Jerry Jones is going to make Mike McCarthy run the ball.
Oh, never mind that offensive line. That's the most expensive offensive line in football. You'd be crazy not to run with them guys. I mean,
and it's not the
I
defensive
can
line it
get, I
used
can
to
get
be.
500 yards.
Left tackle is hurt,
And then,
center retired, left
tell
guard.
him who else I got at running back. Tell him who else I got at running back.
Nick Chubb. But we don't
Oh,
know if Nick
my
Chubb's gonna get
God.
the ball.
Stud. He's going to be a stud.
Thank you.
You see,
Because Baker Mayfield can't throw the ball, so they're going to have to run the football.
Chubb lost me
Chubb
the
is
playoffs
a
last
walking-
year.
Chubb
'cause they
is
wouldn't
a
give him the
walking
ball.
14 points per game. Chubb is a walking 14 points per game. He's going to have 100 yards, and he's going to score a touchdown, and he's going to have at least
Not with
least
Kareem
2
Hunt in there,
receptions.
pal.
yeah, but Jay,
Come
Jay,
on.
did you
Come on.
say you lost Chubb? Chubb lost you the playoff game last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I have the same. It's like a disease. I have this. If you do me bad one year in the playoffs, I can't touch you the next year because I'm so angry.
But you gotta understand who I got as my third running back.
Go ahead.
I got Gordon.
Gordon's
I mean,
washed.
for number three, that's solid. That's solid number three.
If you
got Lindsey out there.
If you go back last year, if you go back the previous year, not last year because he held out. If you go back last year and the year before that, Gordon the third was tremendous in fantasy football with the screens and with the runs and the touchdowns he had. Come on, guess what he's doing this at Denver. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but you got to remember, there's Patrick Lindsey out there. He's not going to be the 3-down back out there. They're going to do committee. You know, the NFL is a committee league now.
Yes, he is. But at the same time, you got to understand
my fourth running back is Duke Johnson in Houston.
If they
after
still
the other
split the carries
Johnson
and
goes
he
down,
get
he'll
five
get all the carries.
So let's say he get 10 carries, 5 receptions. That's 50 yards and 5 plus the receptions he has. He's gonna score. That's 10 to 15 points right there.
Yeah, but you know as well as anybody. What do you get? What are you getting? 45 plays a game? You think he's getting the ball 25% of the time?
Hey, like I said, that's 10. 10 and 5, that's 15. I'm straight with 10 runs and 5 receptions.
I don't know.
They're not gonna do well anyway, so they're gonna have to screen and toss the ball out of the backfield. So it doesn't matter.
One of my philosophies is when it comes to fantasy football, especially this year, is 3 running backs and 1 wide receiver in your first 4 picks. And hopefully, if you're smart enough, short of a Michael Thomas, like Michael Thomas is the only wide receiver I'll take number 1 overall, and that's just because he's Michael Thomas. Because he's a beast.
I have Michael Thomas on mine, so that with Michael Thomas, Kittle, and Kelsey, I dominate the flex, I dominate wide receiver 1, and I dominate tight end. Right away, anything else the rest of my team does is gravy and is going to put me in any contest.
I'm excited to see what you do, Jay.
Kittle is not real like that, though.
And I got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback in the 10th round, for the love of God. And it was either going to be Aaron Rodgers or stream a quarterback.
Good luck.
I told you, Aaron Rodgers throwing 35 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers throwing 35 touchdowns and 4,600 plus yards and only 4 interceptions this year.
Not in fantasy football.
But let me tell you, not even in fantasy football is Aaron Rodgers getting any respect. What's going on up there, guys? I mean, he gets no respect everywhere, it seems like. I mean, even from...
Once again, man, I love A-Rod. I root for A-Rod. But he's not a number 1 quarterback for me in fantasy football.
Well, 10th round, that's a steal for A-Rod. Well, the other A-Rod, because my A-Rod is the A-Rod. I'm a Yankee fan.
So what defense did you end up going with, Jay?
Oh, I got the Packers, but I got them in the 14th.
Oh, that's a hard pick.
He bandwagon, man. I know plenty of people like you, man. Y'all go out and you root for the team and then you go get them in fantasy football. That's why it's called fantasy football for a reason. You do not go get the team that you truly root for.
Never pick with your heart. Put your heart in the box.
I didn't pick with my heart because guess what? I looked at their matchups. I looked at their matchups right away. They're going to dominate week 1 because defense the first 4 weeks, especially in the pandemic, is going to be way ahead of offenses, and they're depending on Jefferson, who can't run a route and is getting picked off every day in practice. This defense will be hot early, and by the time they run into a team that really needs to do it, I'll already have picked up probably the Tennessee Titans or somebody else because there's probably a guy on my bench right now that I'd rather have a backup defense for those games that I know that defense is going to get eaten up.
There's
They scored
absolutely
me
no
20
way
points in
I'm
the
going to
playoffs
get the
last
Packers
week when
defense.
everybody else.
There's no
I
way.
took the Saints.
There's
and
no
the
way I'm
Saints
going to
hadn't
get the
played them, would've
Packers
lost me
defense
that
with the
game.
quarterbacks that would face the Packers in
Those
fantasy football.
quarterbacks are going to
See,
get eaten
you gotta
alive because
understand.
they're the passing
See,
defense. If you run the
you gotta
rock, then it's fine.
Jay,
They want to pass. That's
Jay.
right into what they want to do.
Jay, what you're not understanding, once again, you're picking with your heart. Like Rick said, you're picking with your heart, man. You're going off what the Packer defense is going to do in real life. This is fantasy football where interceptions and yards
Greenberg
count.
and I have one thing in common majorly. Me and Greeny got one thing in common. My great genius will not be appreciated until after I pass.
You know, I thought when I did those tight end experiments in the mock drafts, I really feel I'm interested to see how your season ends up. And I agree with B-Jax on the defense. You picked with your heart. Green Bay, really? I mean, I don't even know what to say about it.
Several of those young players, and that defense is going to be ready to go. They don't have a lot of new moving parts. And in the pandemic era, the teams with the least amount of moving parts and people to integrate into their system are going to be the best this season.
You got too many things that you think have upside that don't. You see, it's one thing to think that like one upside might work or one, boom or bust might work, but you got like three on your team that are, I get boom or bust, but to think that you're going to nail two or three is a high rate. So 1 of 3, you're lucky.
Kerryon Johnson has never played more than 9 games. DeAndre Swift is a better athlete. He's going to get high usage. Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in this draft class,
love Taylor.
bar none. And Marlon Mack is only going to be getting him when he needs to go suck some oxygen. Behind that offensive line, he's going to eat and eat all day. And he's got fresh legs, and he ran a 4.39. Oh, by the way, that's the same speed as Saquon Barkley, and he didn't get no love. Excuse me. Boy's better.
I love Jonathan Taylor.
Barkley.
I love
Jonathan Taylor.
I really
produced at a school where he had no other. Everybody knew he was getting the ball. No quarterback, no receivers, no tight ends, and that offensive line.
It is going to be the same way this year. No quarterback, no tight end, no receiver.
He's got.
It is going to be the same thing this year. No quarterback, no tight end, no receiver.
Yeah, and he's got the best run blocking offensive line. It is not the Cowboys. It is the Colts. They are men up front, and with Taylor running the ball, he's going to have 1,500 yards and win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? You got Phillip Rivers. You got Phillip Rivers there. I'm not feeling. I don't think he likes anybody else to be the star besides him.
And Murray again. Kamara's going to go down with an injury, or when they get in short yardage and goal line situations, it's Murray all day, and he's a good flex guy most weeks and a handcuff. So. I understand the logic, and I have another draft, but this was very competitive.
Yeah,
for me,
and you better use it. You better use. Hey, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on you.
No, not shame on me. See, what's going to end up happening here is you guys are going to get smashed week in and week out.
You got plenty of upside in your fantasy football league. Yeah, upside down.
Wait a minute, B-Jack, who's your wide receivers?
I have Moore, DJ Moore, I think.
Flyer.
Moore.
From the Panthers, DJ, huh?
Yes, from the Panthers. I also, who else I have?
He doesn't even know his wide receivers because he doesn't have any.
He's probably got, again, the wide receiver pool. You're getting starters in the 5th or 6th round. Like guys who are the number 1 wide receivers.
So Rico, what you're telling me is you do not like Nicole Hardman to be the number 3 option.
Hold on.
You don't like Henry Ruggs. You don't like Hollywood Brown.
No.
Hold on. I have Goodwin. I have Diggs. I have Moore. And I have the Giants tight end.
Oh, I forgot his name
Ingram.
too. Ingram. Yeah.
Diggs,
I think Diggs is a great. You get great value on Diggs. I don't know why he's going so late. I think I want him. I like him.
He was a sneaker for me. You know why? Because with the quarterback throwing with his big arm and throwing deep down the field, that's gonna be love.
I agree. I can. Oh, look
I
at
got
Jay.
D-Ball Allen.
Yeah,
D-Ball
Jay's
Allen,
getting all.
Mm-mm.
You know, and I got it. Well, what's his name? Who's the second receiver on there? Wait, they have Singletary's the running back. Brown. Brown's going to take some. You know, Brown was their number one last year.
Yes.
Hollywood. Don't you have Hollywood? Did you say?
Yeah, I
Not
got
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh man,
Hollywood
you guys.
Brown.
Ooh, I love that.
I
when
got
you-
Hollywood Brown. I got Mecole Hardman. I got Henry Ruggs III. I got CeeDee Lamb. I got Jamison Crowder. I got can't guard
You see
Mike.
that? That's he went straight to get all the Alabama wide receivers and think they're gonna do something. And you do not understand.
Hollywood
Alabama
Brown
wide
came
receivers
from
never pan
Oklahoma,
out.
boy.
They never pan out. They never pan out.
I don't know. CD Lamb is pretty. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's a
Well,
good.
we talking about Lamb. That's the only one. I'm talking about Alabama. All Alabama wide receivers. He went and got all Alabama wide receivers. They're not gonna pan out.
How did I get all? Jamison Crowder's not an Alabama wide receiver. Hollywood Brown came from the University of Oklahoma. CeeDee Lamb.
I'm talking about your.
CeeDee Lamb did not come from Alabama.
He came from
the only
Oklahoma.
One.
Your other guy.
CeeDee Lamb came from Oklahoma. The only Alabama receiver on there is Henry Ruggs. So you are so wrong. Your statement alone is false.
B-Jax. I don't know who you're talking about, but there ain't nobody from Alabama on that list.
Well, they all play like they from Alabama.
You just mad. He's mad literally because those guys he has been talking up, and then I got them all, and he's mad about it.
You literally don't have one wide receiver on there that's a bona fide starter.
Jamison Crowder is the only option outside. Hollywood Brown is the only option outside, and who cares?
He didn't play last year.
50 every week.
He did not play last year. He's injury prone.
Most games he was averaging about 100 yards and 2 touchdowns that he was healthy in.
That's the
And you're not
furthest
going
from
to
the.
be hard.
You know why? Because I had him last year. I had him last year
too.
He wasn't PPR. It was standard.
No,
He had it in
PPR.
standard league.
Let me tell you guys, this is an early draft. I don't draft till a week before the season. Too many guys get hurt.
Thank you. That's why I did not want to participate, but he begged me. He was like,
I sent him one text message invitation, and he immediately, literally, my phone dinged, and all of a sudden my notification came up. He couldn't hit the accept button fast enough. He was desperate to play.
I don't know. I got to agree.
I'm with you. I'm with you with that. I hate drafting before week 1. You know why? I normally draft right after Labor Day, that Sunday, or that Monday. You know why? Because all rosters are final. One year I did that, and Jordy Nelson was out for the year. I said, "Oh my!"
I remember that.
It messed my whole draft up.
Yep, because he was going super high. Yeah, I remember those. But yeah, but I agree with Jay with the whole. I'm sure it's just one text, because even if somebody texts me right now, a bunch of my friends, and they're like, "Let's do the draft this week," I would do it. But on my pay leagues that I pay to go in, which I don't know any other player, which is good or bad. I guess the money that we buy in for makes up for not knowing the other players personally. But the money leagues, I don't start till Labor Day and on, because just for all the reasons you said.
All right.
I mean, he's like, "Oh, see, when I did it, I instantly, logged on. But then right when I logged on, it said, oh, draft is Saturday." I'm like, at 3:00. Like, come on, who does that?
somebody without kids is definitely somebody who does a Saturday draft at 3:00.
It was look. We're dealing.
Like,
I'm working with a bunch of younger people on the Brawl Network, podcast. I'm sorry, I
want rosters final before I pick.
Well, I usually wait until Labor Day too, but you know what? I have to draft on Friday night for the other draft I'm in with a bunch of Packer fans that I got invited to at King Day.
I can see that
I'm
draft.
involved in that. Yeah, Rico, it's going to be live. I'm going to be live on air for the TBN podcast, and it's like at 9:15 at night on Friday frickin' night while I'm on air, and I got to be doing a show and drafting at the same time. So that draft might be even worse than this one in people's
A bunch of Green Bay Packer fans. It's going to be ready. Aaron Rodgers first off the board.
Right.
Aaron Jones.
I don't think it's enough Packer players. I don't think it's enough Packer players or Packer defense. Unless y'all go Packer defensive players.
The guy who picks Devontae Adams probably number 3 off the board.
Right.
Hey, I could have had anybody I wanted. I could not believe that that Thomas got to the
Mason Crosby gonna go in the first round.
He was my 15th overall selection. Best kicker left in the league.
With the 10th pick in the first round.
Hey.
Mason Crosby out of Green Bay.
Nice. Yes. All right, Rico, let's get your input as an outsider out in LA about what you feel about all the hoopla and such that's been going on this offseason, and then just kind of where you think the Packers are going to go this season. Just your little opinions there, your cliff notes of the whole offseason, and then where you think 2020 season for the Packers is heading.
Well, the one thing about the Packers, and I was thinking about it today, and it's, short of beating Pittsburgh, I'm a huge Steeler fan, B-Jack. So the fact that you guys, you particular too on that team, beat my team, I almost said no to come on the show purely for that. But congratulations on that game. I know it was a little while ago, but it feels like yesterday to me.
It does.
But on the outside, you know what the crazy thing about the Packers is that they're the team that they always look like they're going to do good, but upstairs makes it a point to not give them the push to go over the top. You have a great quarterback, a great running back, and there's always that team that just comes in and beats you guys in the playoffs the last bunch of years. Who would have thought San Francisco 2 years ago, they didn't even make they got the number 2 pick in the draft, and we all saw them being better, but Green Bay to lose to them, it's just another showing of another team out of nowhere, or a team just, that the organization goes for it. Green Bay organization, to me from the outside, doesn't seem like it goes for it. They don't say we had a great record, we lost the championship game, let's double down, let's get 2 offensive linemen, even though there's 6 off the board already. I just don't understand as an outsider looking in why they keep doing that. And it seems and again, this disrespect for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, how much this guy has carried this team for so many years. After the Super Bowl, they pretty much were just here, you're going to just make us better by yourself. I mean, there was a lot of years I felt like he was out. They left him out to dry. You know what I'm saying? In a certain sense,
yes,
because the wins and losses fall on him. No matter what happens.
2016 NFC Championship game, 4-6 to the NFC Championship game, and had to play it with the starting defensive tackle at right guard. Come on.
Yeah,
and that's why in hindsight we start to look at Aaron Rodgers as the next Kobe Bryant. You have to cherish this quarterback because he's about to leave the NFL here in the next 4 to 5 years. And so we don't really look at Drew Brees in this light. We don't look at Tom Brady in this light because they're on their way out the door. All right. But when we look at Aaron Rodgers, we're kind of almost summing his career up because we're like, man, he's been with the Packers for over 15 years now. And it's well, 1 Super Bowl? Really? This is the potentially one of the greatest quarterbacks in football history, and to only go to 1 Super Bowl.
Well, you had
Eli Manning go to 2 Super Bowls and win.
MVP no less. MVP 2 Super Bowls. And you know what? And again, it falls on the organization, the people upstairs in Green Bay. Again, like you said, you guys have had back-to-back generational quarterbacks. To have, again, LaFleur, he's a quarterback's coach to the core. That's what he does. So, and I get the money. I see why they picked and did what they did because of contracts in the future. And maybe they just see that they aren't good enough to beat a team like Kansas City or the Ravens or San Francisco. Maybe that might be what it is. And they're like, hey, we'll rather hit the playoffs the next 5 years and hope something happens. But this year, we don't think we have the chops to do it. But it feels like that's all the time with Green Bay.
And I don't believe that at all, Rico, because I feel like my philosophy that I've built my foundation as an analyst comes on doing all the same work as everybody else, but then I look for the trends, current trends, and predicting upcoming trends that are showing themselves, on the rise. And what it is right now, we're switching back to that trend of the rules are all set up to pass. Everybody has went small. They're even like the Packers are playing 8, 9, and 10 defensive backs. And so what happens? You go get guys. You got guys like Derrick Henry coming in and doing it. And Saquon Barkley, these guys that are 6 foot, 6'3", 230 plus pounds, and you don't and can't tackle when it's cold outside, right? And so what's the logic in Green Bay? You have a back that has shown you can be so versatile that you can use him in a multitude of ways if you free up him from just having to line up and needing his production out of the backfield. And where did the coach you hired come from? He came from a team that just had a 255-pound, 6'3" man-child that could reach 22 miles an hour and just can't be stopped, run their ass without a quarterback or really any other weapons, no tight end, no Devontae Adams, no nothing, and not even as good as an offensive line across the board really outside of their tackle they had. And
yeah, but
the NFC Championship.
But Jay.
So they go get A.J. Dillon for short yardage and control.
Jay, I got two things, Reek. So, like you said, Jay's a sweetheart. Jay picks with his heart. And for the life of me, I love the Packers, but when you look at them, where can you say the Packers got better across the board? Where?
No, and you know what? Here's the thing. What I understand, right? As we know, talking about trends, Jay. Yes, you got to remember, like most teams, Patrick Mahomes, you can't have a quarterback that's sucking up $25, $30, $40 million of your salary cap nowadays. So I get the love pickup in the sense of like, all right, Rodgers is going to want more money. We can't afford him. We want to spread the money around. Aaron Jones, I think his contract's up next year. I see what they're doing and how they're looking for the future. But again, like you got these guys now. You got these guys today. Like go for it. Like go for the win. You had a great record last year.
Show me the guys that went in the first round. Show me where they match up with former guys like OBJ, Julio Jones, Megatron, Nuke Hopkins. None of them have that kind of talent. None of them. There's not a single completely well-rounded athlete that came out that was so touted and bragged about. We've got fast guys. We've got savants. We've got all this.
Why did you go get CeeDee Lamb in your draft then?
Because he's a Mike McCarthy offense, and he is going to be wide open, and he's going to play the slot, and we know that Mike McCarthy loves the slot wide receiver.
No, we're talking about what happened with Green Bay.
But in Green Bay, they're looking around and they're saying, you have to have trust with Aaron Rodgers. It took Devontae Adams 3 years to gain his trust. It's taking NVS and some of these other guys multiple years of earning his trust. They're just getting to the point where he trusts them and they know what he wants. And so why bring in another guy?
So is that a Packer trust or A-Rod trust? Because it always seemed to come down to, well, you got to get the quarterback's trust. Like I didn't see it from so many teams that when Drew Brees had Michael Thomas, which you have on your fantasy league, he trusts him day one, and it was successful.
Well, I don't think David Funchess is going to take you guys over the top. No offense.
He opted out.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
He opted out right away.
Well, it would have been the same scenario. He wouldn't have done anything anyway.
It's Reggie Bagleton is the big free agent pickup. See, this is the thing: is B-Jack likes to say homerism. But the problem is B-Jack's still salty because they were coming off a championship year and they didn't re-sign him. And he doesn't understand their philosophy because he's still mad that they didn't re-sign him. So he's like, he's got this love-hate relationship. He can't stand He
I
can't
see you
stand
throwing
that
darts.
I understand what their
Ooh,
philosophy
darts.
is.
I see you.
and
I
that's
see
why
you
I'm
throwing
doing it.
darts.
That's nice.
I see
You
you
threw
throwing
nice.
darts and throwing shade. But I mean, the Cleveland Browns paid me, and I appreciate them for that.
That's why he drafted Nick Chubb.
It had nothing. It had nothing. Why I feel that the Packers are the way they are. It had nothing to do with them re-signing me or releasing me or not re-signing me. I still love the Packers through and through. I won a Super Bowl with them. I beat Reek's Steelers, with the Packers. But when you look at it, I mean, Jay, you gotta remove your heart from this, because this is a business. 99% of it's business. The 1% is personal, and I think you're taking that 1% and adding 2 zeros to it, and you're taking it personal.
No, see,
and you're saying why? I'm saying why not?
Because
my why not has showed me
what does everybody
I can't trust
want?
the Packers right now.
No,
Well,
why
I
everybody
I can't trust the Packers right now.
Everybody wants to know the how and why. And I can have my own opinions. Like, I don't understand why they didn't go draft. My philosophy, my personal opinion was, in the first round, instead of quarterback, you go get one of those tackles. Or in the second round, you get one of those tackles. What I am saying, and what I argue with you, and when I talk to you all the time, you always accuse me of, is me telling you, I understand what the GM is thinking. I understand I have studied them, and I understand and know the logic in which direction they're going.
That
doesn't mean that I agree
correct.
or disagree with it. It just means that I am telling you this is what they're doing and why they do it, and this is what they believe, and how the outcome of these beliefs and why they did it, how they have the feeling this will be projected to the season. And you are telling me, oh, you're thinking with your heart. No, I've done my damn homework, and I sit here and I know what they're thinking, and I'm telling the people that want to know the how and why, this is the how and this is the why, and this is what they believe this how and why is going to project to in the 2020 season, so that people don't sit here and go, well, Jay, you said this. Yes, I believe they should have went and got a tackle, because Ricky Wagner is not going to end up being. It's going to end up being John Runyon or somebody else. Ricky Wagner, I've watched him play. He is a downgrade. The middle linebacker, we don't know. None of these guys have been healthy enough to produce, but I know that Blake Martinez even said that all he was doing for 3 years was playing cleanup. That's not going to get it done. 4 yards first contact on average. That's where the run game gets you. So,
but
yes,
yet you,
so do
but
I
yet you still went and got the Packers in your fantasy league.
Because I know damn well that this defense will be better, because we know the secondary as a unit, the way they want to play. We've talked to Chandon Sullivan. We've talked to Curtis Bolton. We've talked to these guys in the locker room, and they have all said, we are more confident in what we need to do. We are all confident in the way we do it. And the difference in last year and the big games that and Sully said it himself, those games, there was confusion. The young guys didn't know and didn't understand what they were supposed to be doing and how they were supposed to be attacking it, and that if they would have done that, the defense would play better. And that's all it is. It's not a talent issue. This team is not devoid of talent. They're devoid of doing the right things at the right moment and executing.
Wait a minute. What was your record last year?
Right now, do you think I'm going against the Packers? Because that's how I feel you're thinking, that I'm against the Packers right now. I'm not against the Packers.
You're calling me a homer.
Okay, all right.
No,
I'm not against the Packers. I just go ahead, Reek.
No, I was gonna say, what was the record last year for you guys?
13-3. Yeah,
that sounds like a pretty solid year. Why wouldn't you go for it? Why wouldn't you go for the players you need? Sounds like if you're 13-3, your defense must have. I don't pay much attention to the Packers. I'm a step outside from what you guys are. But I know if Pittsburgh was 13-3 and they didn't push it, go all in with a pair of aces. 13-3 is a pair of aces, and not go for the win, a cornerback. And even though there was 4 offensive tackles already taken in the first round, there was still like 5 or 6 that were solid offensive tackles that they could have gotten.
They had all kinds of guys. And that's
that's what I'm saying. That's it.
Your first option, you go quarterback. Your second option was running back. Your third option was tight end.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs some help.
Did you not see what A-Rod did with the offense that he had?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So why would you go get a quarterback in the first round when you go 13-3 the previous year?
I just assumed you guys are yelling about this since it happened, because I know me and my friends were when the draft happened, we just looked at each other and were like, what? I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard, there was a rumor that went around last week that Aaron Rodgers in the next 2 or 3 years may leave, within 2 years leave and go somewhere else, which sounds like impossible. But that was a rumor
I feel that. I don't believe that's a rumor. I believe that's just true because I said it.
Oh, it was you. Maybe I heard it from you.
Look at he said it was you.
I'm giving you your own information back. You see how it works? I made it sound like it was mine.
He has said that. He did say that on the Full Money Sports Show when we were on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, then that's definitely where I heard it.
Rico's recycling B-Jack's take on his own damn show. That's a first.
On my next one, I'm going to have to give you a shout out. B-Jack said.
I truly believe that, and believe me, I'm not trying to start a rumor, or I'm not against the Packers once again. I just truly believe, and that's not with my heart. That's with what I've seen in me being in the Packers organization, and me being in a football organization, and me being in the scouting room, me being around a GM and a manager. That's just things that you just. It's been me before. Like, that's been me in a situation where, okay, you go get a lower guy and you boost him in to push the other guy out.
Yeah,
and that's what's being done right now. If you believe it or not, it's what they're doing is they're speeding up that progression with A-Rod, because A-Rod said, "Oh yeah, I want to be a Packer for life. I want to retire Packer," and they're like, "Okay, let's go draft somebody so we can speed up this process of A-Rod not being happy and wanting out."
Again,
let's do what's best for A-Rod, because that's what's coming next. A-Rod is going to get upset. Let's do what's best for A-Rod, and let's find him a team.
You know, I didn't really see the fallout. How did he handle it when he was when they picked Love? How was his reaction?
He like, this is something we've talked about and we've discussed, is that B-Jack being in the locker room, B-Jack being close to him because he immediately came in and was a third down guy that Rodgers could absolutely depend on to have his back and watch his ass, right? They had this rapport, and so B-Jack got to, you know, he can speak on those personality traits that may be the more intricate parts. The thing about Rodgers is that he is never going to be or treat anybody the way that he was received and treated when he was a rookie coming in. So regardless of his professional feelings of the move the GM made, there is no way, shape, or form he is ever going to take that out on Jordan Love. And so he has absolutely done everything in the right manner as far as a mentor and doing the right things that were not done to him when he was a rookie in that same position. That's one thing that we both agree on.
But if you sit here, and I'm not saying you are, but if you sit here and think Aaron Rodgers is not salty, then think again.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Because when Alex Smith passed him up, right, he was salty. When he was here and had to play behind Brett Favre, he was a little salty. Now, when you go and draft Love, you don't think Aaron Rodgers is salty? And
but not at Love.
Well, you carry.
I know that. I'm not saying that Love. Yeah. I'm just saying that the fact that he was disrespected in the draft, one. Then you come back and you pay this man, and then you go draft a quarterback in the first round. That's disrespect. In his eye.
It is disrespect, because it's kind of like letting him know, like, hey, here's your papers. They're being printed. You know, your walking papers. They're being printed. So just to let you know, we got to figure out something to do with this Love guy in the next 4 years. So, you know, there's your window. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I agree with you, B-Jack.
No, he's absolutely. That's one thing we've never. Him and I have not wavered on, is because I've described Aaron, and he's kind of seconded it. He's a super nice guy with a type A personality. So if you irritate him, if you piss him off, he's going to tell you, and it rubs people the wrong way. But that doesn't mean that he's not a kind-hearted, loving, empathetic person that knows how to do. You know,
Jay, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that's for the fans out there.
I'm sure he's nice, but I'm saying in the whole situation, I'm sure he's not happy. I'm sure he's going to be super nice to Love. and everybody, but I'm sure about the whole situation about kind of being, told like you're going to retire, unlike they did with Tom Brady. They were pretty much like your day's up, and he was like, no, it's not. And then they just, we saw what happened there.
Yes, we did. All right, we are going to get to the point where we've got to wrap it up a little bit. B-Jack, why don't you start closing us out here with some final thoughts?
Okay, so in light of everything that's going on, all right, with the Packers and the fantasy football team, Jay, I would say you had a great draft, okay? But at the same time, I believe that your defense is going to hurt you, all right? Just we had a guy on, I forget his name, the young man that played linebacker for the Packers. Curtis. He was on a couple weeks ago, and you can recall what he said. The Packers are all over the place. All right, you got guys that's not in proper position, and truly just kind of don't trust each other because they don't play that position. How can a corner trust another corner to play linebacker when he never played linebacker? When you have a linebacker in there, that safety or that corner trusts that linebacker to be where he's supposed to be. And so then when you run the ball, you're going to have a hole stopper at linebacker and not a corner trying to fill a hole. So that's where the Packers have to, or as in, I guess Rick was trying to eloquently put it, why didn't you go defense and fill that hole stopper? So that the defense can solidify and help A-Rod out with the same group that he played with last year and won 13 games. Because the opponents are not the same. The quarterbacks are not the same. Because the quarterbacks they're going to play this year is even better. So when you got a Deshaun Watson, a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees, and even a Phillip Rivers in there, that's four games that you have to bring everything you have along with the NFC North that is trying to improve.
Yeah, players playing out of.
I'll tell you this, man. I don't know who the hell you were listening to, but Curtis was telling you that they were all over the place. You asked him, like, what is your kind of main package? What kind of defense he played? And he said, we're all over the place. We play multiple packages. And then he went on to eloquently state that last year that was the issue. But this year at camp, these guys all knew where they were supposed to be, understood the concepts, understood their positions, were trusting each other, knew each other, had good rapport, and everything was happening much better than last season. So everything you just said, I don't know if you fell asleep, you snoozed, or what the hell, or what you were
I don't know. I agree with Jay on this one.
But
Jay sounds more sound on this one, B. I ain't gonna lie. The 13-3, they knew what they were doing.
At 13-3, you know what you're doing.
No, Rico. What I'm saying is what our guests have both said that have played on the defense, both Shannon Sullivan, the DB, right, and both Curtis Bolton, who was on IR last year, right. They have both come in and both stated clearly that because of the way that Patton likes to play, like 8 and 9, and like Sully said, I have never seen 9 defensive backs in any defensive formation in all of my football career. And so you had Will Redmond had never played safety at any level in his career, ever, not one snap. And he's playing safety overhang defender in this 3-4. Had no idea. Shannon had never played overhang defender linebacker before. I'm trying to say is they were out of sorts last year at times.
What I'm trying to say is, if you went 13-3 and you're trying to go all in, why go in and get a quarterback? Why not go in?
That doesn't make sense. None of that makes sense, B-Jack. From a GM standpoint, look, like I said, I understand.
But it makes sense to go get a quarterback. It makes sense to go get a quarterback.
You got Aaron Rodgers, probably, in my opinion, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't care where he goes. He's a winner.
You think you're just trying to prepare for the future.
Again, that's true. I can't argue with that. I see the business behind it, and you did say before, B-Jax, it's a business. So I see the business move behind that.
Because what you're doing here is this is not my philosophy, B-Jax. So before you even start the homerism shit with your smiling about, this is my understanding of what their logic is, right? And here's the logic of the NFL that is so flawed.
You know why none of what I said made sense? Because all I'm trying to do is get you fired up.
I know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Here's the entire logic of this when you look at the wholeheartedly, and the way that I believe that the Packers look at it is every year there's a team or multiple teams that have to or are in desperate need to find a quarterback, right? And so what they end up doing is they pick a guy or a couple of guys, and almost just like in Draft Day, the movie with Kevin Costner, they convince themselves that's the holy grail quarterback. Gotta have it, turn on the tape, and somehow the normal things that they would see that would turn them off.
This ain't no movie.
Now, you know what? Mariota Winston.
To me why
remember
Mariota, Jameis Winston, Christian Ponder, Blaine Gabbert all got drafted in the top 15. When you go really look at their tape in hindsight now and you look at their college tape and say, there's no way that you should have watched that tape and seen them projected as a first-round quarterback, especially top 15. So what the Packers did is in a year where they absolutely do not need a quarterback. They don't need one. They found a guy that, excuse the stupid idea of a pun, they actually love. They love his traits. And they say to him, look, if we draft this guy now with no need to play him, with no pressure on him, we've got the next Aaron Rodgers in 3 years. Because the same thing happened to us with Aaron Rodgers. He fell into our lap in a miracle. It wasn't our scouting. But at the same time, because there was no need or pressure to actually play him until the actual need was there, he was now in our system. He was now comfortable and was able to take all the bad habits without any of the mental beat-ups that young quarterbacks take on the field. He gets to make them on a field where it doesn't matter, where nobody sees it, where he can purposely try to do things and make mistakes. Aaron Rodgers, we've heard from other coaches, he would do things on the scouting team, and you know that he would never do in a game just to see if he could pull it off. And sometimes he did, and sometimes he didn't. If it didn't, he'd either work on it and perfect it, or he'd take it out of his game. That's how he became the guy he is.
Well,
so that's
Aaron Rodgers always pulled off everything he did in practice in the game.
No, yeah, he's a beast.
I'm just saying, I understand
everything.
Philosophy.
Absolutely everything he did in practice, he pulled it off in the game. Aaron Rodgers absolutely made Charles Woodson and Al Harris better.
That's a statement.
That's
period.
A statement.
because Aaron Rodgers will go out there when Brett Favre was still playing, and he would challenge Al Harris and Charles Woodson. He would challenge them. So when you got a future Hall of Fame quarterback that's on the scout team and running your scout team, he's going to absolutely make that defense and make that secondary better. So hopefully it's enough love in the building to make the Packers secondary better.
Well, maybe. Rico, final word. I gotta get us out of here.
All right, final word is in fantasy. Don't pick up a guy who has concussion issues, a guy who has hamstring issues. Make sure 3 of your first 4 picks is running backs, and good luck. And just remember, the wide receiver pool is huge. Don't worry about it. You can get a number 1 wide receiver in the 6th round, 5th round, 7th round. There's plenty of wide receivers out there. Running backs are short, very short. And you know what? You don't want to pick up a guy in a committee. Be careful of those committees. That's what I got
Rico,
on fantasy football.
How does everybody get a hold of you?
Careful those committees.
I don't have anybody that's a running back committee. They're all number 1 usage guys.
What do you running back? Yeah, running back committee is 3 different running backs or 2 different running backs. They're not a 3-down back. Is when you're on a committee like Melvin Gordon III will be on a committee.
Taylor's a 3-down back. Latavius Murray, if as soon as his counterpart gets hurt, he's a 3-down back. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how it looks.
All right, Rico, plug your show and your handles.
All right, am I Rico Graz on Twitter?
You got two starting tight ends with a game manager at quarterback. Doesn't work.
You can find. Let me jump in so we can wrap. I know I can hear Jay wants to wrap this up. He's got another show. B-Jack. It's Rico Graz is my handle on Twitter. I'm on the Full Monty Sports Show every Sunday. I go on at 9:00 Los Angeles time, and we're Nuts and Bolts is our our show is on Nuts and Bolts, their website, and you can find us at the Full Monty Sports Show. I'm co-hosting, and we're also doing a Tuesday night recap of the weekend coming up, starting season 1 of the Full Monty Show. Me and Monty, I'll be doing AFC. He'll be doing NFC.
Yeah, that's an awesome show. You guys do a great job. We're on there all the time. When you guys want to talk Packers, we come on. I think the next time, though, now that we've all had a good rapport, Monty's been on here a couple times. You've been on here now. I think next time, though, instead of him making you wait and cutting us all off, we just should do just one big mega segment and just get us all on together, since we all know each other anyway, instead of splitting it all up and kicking each other off and making you wait and all this. It's like every time he has a guest, he puts poor Rico on the back burner and makes him sit on the line and wait and sweat it out until we're done talking.
I've been on the show so many years that I got forced that he had to make me a co-host.
All right, man. B-Jack, why don't you tell everybody good night? I know you're smiling. You want to tell them good night.
Oh, I'm smiling. You guys have a blessed night, and I'll see you next week.
I'll see you later, my man.
All right, you can hit us up on the Twitter. He is at bjackson32. I am at upj33. On Instagram, he is at brandonjackson29. I am at J_Andrews033. Hit us up on Facebook. Follow, like, and share our page by searching Titletown Brawl. And don't forget to give our parent company some love, The Brawl Network. Hit them up on the all-new website, thebrawlnetwork.com. Go there, sign up for free. It's your one-stop shop. The Brawl has it all, baby. And don't forget to give them some love on social media. Hit them up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching Network Brawl. We love you all. Go Pack, go. And we'll be back next Wednesday. We have Matt Hamilton, the producer of at GMFB. That is Good Morning Football with the crew. Kay Adams, Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, and Nate Burleson. The producer, Matt Hamilton, will be on with us next Wednesday evening. You don't want to miss it. Go Pack, go. Peace out. Love you, fam.
Church close, swear they don't care, you just get it now. Testify how we made martyrs out of these fathers and rose up all of his daughters to glorify him with honor. Man, I swear Thomas Jones with a head did. Now it's flying everywhere, she don't care what her head did. She an egg, yeah, caught up in the egg, yeah. Probably why she clapping like Jesus just reappeared, yeah. Give me that God Almighty, that God, oh, back on that old school doctrine. Give me that truth for the body. Ain't nothing new about it, but it's still one power. Church clap, let me hear the church clap. 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 I wanna be the type of dude to get the Lord on his feet. I wanna do the type of shows that the Lord wanna see. What I mean, if I can make the whole church clap, it ain't a clap in the heavens, then that clap's just a clap, clap. For the Son glorified, sin mortified. The Holy Spirit going word that truth ain't watered down. It's sound doctrine, gets birds in the common now. Nothing wrong with singing loud, but that ain't where the power's on. The church has been clapping their weak sermons, leaving the weak hurt. No one's changed by Sunday service. We need discernment, check what you be affirming, cause the church can be full of members but empty in conversions.